The world is at a serious crossroads between government-controlled central bank fiat currencies and a return to the gold and commodity-backed currencies. But what if there was a third option with Bitcoin? Let's mine deep. Until the invention of Bitcoin, the world really only had two flavors of money to choose from. Fiat money, which is money that derives its value from central bankers and politicians saying, "Trust me, bro." And commodity-backed money, which is money that is either literally made off a commodity like gold or one that is redeemable with a fixed exchange rate for said commodity. Each of them has their upsides and downsides, but ultimately, they both have a fatal flaw. Neither have a verifiable quantity in the long term, and the former fiat money has an average lifespan of just 50 years. We might not think that's such a big deal. One money fails, another currency takes its place. But this cycle of failing currencies has also been the driving factor of political instability, economic inequality, and wealth confiscation in nearly every era of history in every corner of the world. Hear me out. In 150 AD, the Romans forcibly seized all the silver coins from their population, melted them down, and sent them back with 17% less silver in order to create more money and stretch their government's budget. Almost exactly 1700 years later, in 1933, Franklin Roosevelt did the exact same thing with gold, forcing Americans to turn in their physical gold for government-issued dollar bills at a lower exchange rate in order to save the economy. It was easy for governments to control their money for all of history because it was either issued directly by them or it was backed by something they could literally raid your house to plunder. But in 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto made a type of money that had all the sound characteristics of gold and solid commodities, yet didn't exist at all in the physical realm. If you have any Bitcoin, you know what I'm talking about. Unless the government can go into your house like these guys and steal your thoughts. Then there is no possible way for them to get well-protected Bitcoin that you hold. So why should you care? Because while Bitcoin is a game changer for us in relatively political stable countries where we only arrest political oppositions once every 100 years, it's a world changer for people living in oppressive regimes where currency debasement is as predictable as the next Marvel movie plot. Both fiat money and commodity money failed to enable commerce and savings for millions of people in dozens of countries like South Africa, Japan, Peru, Nigeria. And that's why you're seeing both companies and citizens in these countries adopt Bitcoin out of necessity to secure their future. As the world moves faster and faster towards central bank digital currencies and money leaves the physical realm altogether, the world needs neutral currency owned by the people, irrespective of location or nationality. Without that, the tenacious grip of centralized control will only grow stronger, and the ability to debase currencies won't require recalling chariots or truckloads of gold and silver, but just a keystroke in a database by a politician or central banker. There's no other currency besides Bitcoin that provides a check against this. So ask yourself, if you had to leave $1, a piece of gold, or some Bitcoin to your grandchildren, what do you think will preserve its purchasing power the most by the time you're gone? Don't miss Tom Van Lamoen Backstage.
I've been an activist against the banking establishment for as long as I can remember. I got it from my parents, I guess. So for me, I was really critical of crypto at first, because for me it was just like another scam. Like it's the same thing as Wall Street, you know. It's just people just pump and dumping stuff, and it's really ugly. But then I knew that Bitcoin was different when somebody taught me this, and I knew how Bitcoin worked. But then there's no going back.
Watching the governments take all your money and suppressing the civilians, they forget that the governments are for the people instead of You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, and that's how it should be, you know. Like, and I hear a lot of people that say, yeah, but we are the government, we get to vote in the government. But you can see when push comes to shove, then the lobby groups and the banking and the multinational companies, they are always more powerful. The politicians, they have to stay in power to do what they do, so they need the money, so they need the lobby. So the lobby always wins from the individual representation.
So you want to bring Bitcoin into the parliament. How is that?
Not really, because we're against parliament, we're against government influence inside our own lives, and we just kind of want to abolish government all the way if we can. The thing we want to do, we want to use Bitcoin to inspire people why they need to become independent from government and from the banking institutions. So for me, Bitcoin it's like libertarian, it's digital libertarianism actually. It's just, for me, it's the same thing. And it's beautiful to see that Bitcoin teaches people why they need to become independent from the institutions that are oppressing them.
And how will you do that?
If we get like the influence that we need in the political spectrum, then the thing is we're just gonna get a total free market. We're gonna get away all the roadblocks that can block Bitcoin, and then we're so confident that Bitcoin will win in the free market in the end.
And what are those roadblocks that you see here that they don't have in other places?
Well, I think the roadblocks are everywhere, and of course it's because the banking institutions and the government, they have too much power. The government gets its power from the money printer a lot. So that's why I don't feel confident that it's gonna happen from the inside out. So the thing is that we want to inspire people and just to have a grassroots movement of people to educate them why it's needed and why they need to become independent. He's given humanity the opportunity to become self-sovereign and to take more action in your own life. You don't need a third party to represent you to do whatever you want in your life, to take care of your children or to build your own house and everything that's after that. And Bitcoin just changed the dynamic and given us a chance to have positive action, to educate people that we can change the system from within by supporting Bitcoin.